you can heat up your swimming pool and keep it heated all season long for around $100. No, you don't need an expensive, gas pool heater. All you need is the power of the sun, a solar blanket, and effective tips on how to use it properly. So let's do it. All right, quick disclaimer. When it comes to pool care, everyone does it differently. And at Swim University, this is just how we do it. So if I missed anything, I apologize. Just leave a comment. All right, there are 3 different types of solar pool covers out there, and they are solar blankets, which looks like the bubble wrap. There are solar rings, which float on top of your pool. They're like little rings. We'll get into that. And then there are liquid solar covers. All of them do basically the same thing, which is they don't actually heat your pool up. They just keep the heat that naturally comes in from the sun in your pool. Now, the way they do that is we'll talk about solar blankets. So solar blankets or solar covers, they look like those giant pieces of bubble wrap and they lay on top of the pool. Bubble side down helps it to float. What you're looking for if you want to actually aid in the heating of the water is a very light blue, an opaque light blue cover or a clear cover. And if you find a clear cover with some silver on the bottom, that's gonna help keep more heat in the pool that is attracted from your solar cover. But generally what's gonna happen is the solar cover is not going to actually heat up the pool. It's just going to reduce evaporation and keep the heat in your pool. The same thing goes for solar rings and liquid solar covers. Solar rings are basically just little tiny solar covers that float in your pool. So solar rings are easy. They're just little discs. You throw them in and they work basically the same way, keeping heat and keeping the evaporation from happening and then thus keeping the heat in the water. Liquid solar covers are the ones that I get asked about the most. Do liquid solar covers actually work? Yes, if we're talking about reducing evaporation, which is keeping heat in the water. Will they attract heat to your pool? No, they will not do that. It's a very small molecule thick layer that kind of just keeps everything from evaporating. So that is what a liquid solar cover is. Again, not going to heat your pool, but it's going to help reduce evaporation. Now we're going to talk about how to do this effectively. How do you use a solar cover so that it actually keeps the heat in the pool? This is going to sound weird, but the sun comes out during the day. We all know that, right? We all know that. So the sun comes out, it's heating up your pool, whether you have a solar cover on it or not. It's going to heat the water. At night, however, the sun goes away. It gets a little cooler out because there's no sun. And that's when all the evaporation and heat loss happens. It all happens at night. So when should you put a solar cover on your pool? When should you put the solar rings on your pool? At night. I know. Sounds counterintuitive. And make sure the filter's not running if you have solar rings or if you have a liquid solar cover, because the water movement will break up the rings and allow heat to escape. Now, there are some benefits over one another. So for solar blankets, the actual big piece of bubble wrap that you lay over the entire surface of the water, what that's going to do is it's actually going to help keep chemicals in your water because the sun's not going to be able to burn them off. You're not going to lose any through evaporation. And it's going to keep leaves and other debris out of your pool because you have a cover on your pool. So if you want to keep it on during the day and you are not going to be swimming in it, that's fine. You should keep it on at night when it's all collecting stuff. It'll collect on top of the cover, and when you remove it, you can shake all that stuff off. You don't need it. Now, if you have a solar blanket and you find it hard to take on and off your pool, what you can do is actually cut it into smaller, more manageable pieces and have it fit together like a puzzle in your pool. Or you can invest in a solar reel, which will allow you to just roll it up and then unroll it when you need it. Now, for solar rings, while they might be easier to get off, and that is certainly a pro, they are easy to take on and off your pool. But the thing is that there's gaps. There's going to have gaps in the water where it is going to be able to evaporate. So they're not as effective as a solar blanket. So if you're going to use liquid solar covers, the biggest pro of a liquid solar cover is that you just kind of add it to the pool and it works. But the con is that you have to not run your filter system at night, which, Some people like to do it because it saves them money by running your filter system at night because of the electricity. But if you're going to be using a liquid solar cover, it's going to work really, really well at night. Now, if you have a gas pool heater, a heat pump, something that costs a lot of money to actually heat the water in your pool, I have good news for you. If you want to save some money on your gas bill, on your electric bill, whatever you use, you can use a solar cover, solar rings, or a liquid solar cover to actually keep the heat in the pool that you generate through the gas pool heater or the electric heater, thus saving you money. All right, let's answer some questions. Now, these questions are sponsored by the Pool Care Handbook and video course, which is how we keep the lights on here at Swim University. It is our complete pool maintenance video course with over like 35 different video lessons, all on how to take care of your pool, including solar cover and solar heating options. It's all covered in here. Plus, we have an extensive 300+ page, fully illustrated ebook, and it all comes together in one product. So if you're watching this video, thank you very much for watching this video. You will be rewarded with a 10% off coupon code. Just use the promo code VIDEO when you are at checkout and you will get 10% off. Okay, sponsorship over, promotion over. Let's get to the questions. All right, Wayne asks, I'm in the market for a new solar cover. I asked my local pool company about them. They say they are two different options when it comes to solar blankets. They say both are great, but the thicker one will hold the heat in better. Is that true? I'm confused. I need some guidance. My last solar cover only lasted 3 years and totally disintegrated last August. Well, Wayne, I want to say that yes, your cover will last longer if you get a thicker mill. No, it will not heat your pool any better if it's thicker. In fact, it's just going to be harder to take on and off your pool. So yes, invest in the thicker mill if you want to keep it longer, 3 to 5 years, sure. But you can get away with a thinner mill and it's still going to do the same thing as a thicker mill. It's just not going to last as long. All right, speaking of how long are these covers going to last, I have another one from Jay who says, what is the life expectancy on a solar cover? I've noticed that I've been finding little blue round discs in my skimmer basket and my robot is picking them up as well. Is this normal after a few seasons, or is it because when you have it rolled up and it gets too hot, or could it be a chemically related issue? Well, it can be both of those things. It could just be a cheap cover. It could be that it's sitting out in the sun and drying out. It could just be from chemical use. It could just be old. All those things, which I recommend it to Wayne. Get a thicker mill. Get a more, if you want it to last a little bit longer, invest in a nice thick mill solar cover, and it should last you long. It's going to deteriorate. Those things are going to happen. There is a lot of wear and tear on them, but again, if you get a thicker mill, it'll last you a good while. They make a bunch of different mills. You can get 4 mil, you can get 8 mil, you can get 12 mil, and you can get 16 mil, which is really thick, and that should last you about 5 years, hopefully, and maybe even more. So a 16 mil is like, that's the one to get. Okay, last question. I have the opposite problem. My pool is too hot. Do you have some ideas on how to cool it down a little? It's too expensive to buy bags of ice every day. Yes, it is too expensive to buy bags of ice every day. And so there's 3 things that I know you can do for sure. 1, you can not use a liquid solar cover, a solar blanket, and solar rings, and then run your filter at night. Like we said before, if you want to keep the heat from escaping, you want to not run your filter at night and add either the solar blanket, solar rings, or liquid solar cover. But if you're trying to make heat escape from your pool, run your filter at night, break up the surface water, and remove any landscaping that's around your pool. If you have any landscaping that's blocking the wind from blowing over your pool, that's a great way to, just get rid of that, and the wind will blow across your pool and let that heat escape. And then the third thing you can do is install a fountain. Anything that breaks the surface tension and gets that water moving, especially at night, is gonna allow that heat to escape. All right, if you think I missed anything in this video, please tell me in the comments. That would be great. And we have plenty more information over at swimuniversity.com. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to hear more about pool maintenance. And that's it. So happy swimming.